For the first time, we're hearing a public plea for help from a pair of American siblings trapped in China. In a video you'll see only on CBS This Morning, Cynthia Liu describes the terrifying experience for her and her brother Victor. They traveled to China last year but have not been allowed to return home to the U.S. because of a so-called exit ban. China's government did not respond to a request for a comment. The State Department warned Americans about China's exit bans in January. Senior foreign affairs correspondent and Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan is at the State Department. Margaret, good morning.
Good morning to you, Nora. Well, the Trump administration's National Security Council spokesperson told CBS News Chinese authorities have given no legitimate explanation for refusing to allow Cynthia and Victor Liu to return to the U.S. They traveled to China to visit their dying grandmother. And now, in this video you're about to see, which was recorded this week secretly by Cynthia, it's a desperate plea.
We've done nothing wrong, and we need to go home.
For nearly a year, Cynthia Liu has been trapped in China.
We wake up every morning terrified.
The 27-year-old American who works for a New York consulting firm and her brother Victor, a 19-year-old Georgetown undergrad, are desperate to return home to the U.S. But their lawyer, David Pressman, says Chinese authorities won't let them leave the country.
So what happens when Cynthia and Victor try to go to the airport and get on a plane back home?
Each time when they present themselves at the border, they are taken to a room and then they are ultimately told that they're not allowed to leave. Victor barely understands the language. I mean, it's bewildering, it's difficult, it's stressful.
The siblings are stuck in China under what is known as an exit ban, a tactic used by Beijing that allows foreigners to move around the country but prevents them from leaving it. Even though the Liu siblings are not accused of wrongdoing, exit bans can last days or years.
We feel trapped. We live with constant distress because this is not our home and we're not here by choice.
But their estranged father, Liu Changming, happens to be one of China's most wanted fugitives. A former executive at a state-owned bank, Liu is linked to a $1.4 billion fraud case and fled the country in 2007.
The interest of the Chinese authorities in Victor and Cynthia is purely to use Victor and Cynthia to try and get this guy to return to China.
They're bait.
They're a form of human bait.
Cynthia Liu insists she is powerless.
This man abandoned my family many years ago. We are not in touch with him, nor do we have any way of contacting him.
In recent years, Chinese President Xi Jinping has led a heavy-handed crackdown on corruption, and family members of the accused are often treated as if they were tied to the illegal acts. It is just one of China's many human rights violations documented by the State Department. And balancing concern about those against Beijing's heavy economic influence is getting increasingly difficult.
It's an authoritarian regime that's integrated economically into the West in ways the Soviet Union never was.
National Security Advisor John Bolton's call last year to release the Lius went unheeded. They now hope their plight will be raised with top Chinese officials in Washington this week for trade talks.
I have told Victor again and again that no matter how dark our lives can be, we need to hold on to hope.
Now, adding to their distress is the fact that the children haven't been able to see or speak with their mother. She is imprisoned. She is also a U.S. citizen. As for Cynthia and Victor, the State Department says they're concerned and they remain in contact. Gayle?
Boy, Margaret, that's a very complicated story. Thank you very much.